and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me, as always, is the person who has two thumbs and does things with houseplants.
Sarah.
No, you need to go, Sarah.
Sarah.
Yes. And today we're doing a review of Verdant. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right, Verdant is a puzzly spatial card game. Each turn, players draft a card and a token, placing the card in a valid spot of their tableau of 5 columns and 3 rows. Cards are either plants or rooms, and each card type must only be adjacent to the other card type. Tokens are either decorations for rooms or tools to grow your plants. The person who best manages all the ways to score points wins the game. All right, Will, so why did we get this game?
Flat out, it's Flat Out Games.
It is Flat Out because, yeah, I'm not going to repeat that.
We're big fans of Flat Out Games.
Yes, they make a lot of wonderful, amazing games. Also, years ago, I was at a little convention in Arizona called RinCon, and I met up with Kevin Russ, and he was brainstorming a houseplant growing game. I didn't help him a lick. I couldn't. I was like, that's interesting. I hope you do something with that. And thankfully, he found the right group of designers to do something with that and turn it into a wonderful game.
Yes.
Also, we love the mechanisms and we love Beth Sobel's art. So the whole package is just I wouldn't say guaranteed winner, but it was definitely one we knew we had to get.
Yeah, solidly, it's going on top of our list when it comes out. We're just getting it.
Yep. Okay. So let's move on to what we like about the game and honestly the open drafting. Drafting is a mechanism that we can't play most of the time because it's most games use closed drafting.
Yeah, I draft these things and now they're all my secret precious.
Or you have to draft from a closed hand of cards. Makes it very visually intensive for Will and usually not worth the effort he has to go, through.
Yes. Usually I'm getting up, going to a different room, using a device over there, looking at it, coming back, sitting down, realizing I completely forgot what I just looked at, getting up, going back. The process is intense sometimes.
Right, especially when drafting games are generally supposed to be pretty fast, and the getting up and going over there adds time. So we don't play a lot of closed drafting games. So we look for ones that have open drafting like this, the fact that all the cards are face up in the rows, and I can read them all to him and he can make the choice and we're all sitting here comfortable at the table.
Yeah, and where I'm playing them, also open information as I'm building out my grid.
Right.
I can ask her, what's on the edge of this card? And she goes, well, it's a full sun, and that room type is for succulents, so I know what's going on.
Yep. We love the spatial puzzle. The fact that it's cards makes it really easy for Will to manage his own space. He needs very little help from me to figure things out.
And it only gets to be 3 rows, 5 columns, so it's not going to be a big table hog either. Yeah,
I'm also really glad that it was only 3 rows because the depth of our table is not very much. So if it had to go 4 or 5 rows but only 3 columns, that would have not been a really good. So I'm glad it's the way it is.
Yes.
The fact that there's so many different ways to score, if you find that paths are blocked, like we have issues in sometimes 2-player games of a card not coming up. I need a succulent plant. No succulent plants are coming up. Well, if you shift gears early enough, you can do other things to score you points. So there's different ways to pursue.
To pivot. And because there's so many ways to score, you ever don't know who's going to win the game.
Yes.
There's been so many times where like, oh, she's just, nope. It went the other way.
Right. You just that uncertainty keeps the players engaged. There's no score track to be like, oh, Will's 50 points ahead of me. Why am I even still playing? There's nothing I can do. No, this keeps you engaged because you're like, well, I think I'm doing well here, but I'm not doing well on this aspect. Is he doing better on it? And actually, at a certain point, you're not really caring too much what the other person is doing. You're doing your thing.
Yes.
And then you just see who did it best at the end.
Yep.
Also, the art, the beautiful art, they're all unique house plants. There's no repeats at all. Beth Sobel just does amazing art and, just love it. So what we don't like about the game, there was a Kickstarter exclusive little mini expansion called Potless Plants. It honestly should be standard in the game.
Yeah. It has a mechanism where just by watering it, it doesn't grow anymore, so it's never potted. What it does is it gives you thumbs, and thumbs let you do interesting things in the game.
Lets you manipulate things.
So you have these plants that give you access to this resource more plentifully, and it changes up the dynamics of the game.
Right, and then I also felt like it had, if you got one of these plants, well, that was one less thing you had to worry about. Sometimes when you've got all these plants, and there was like one game, like I could not get small plants. I kept getting ones that were like 8 and 9, and I'm like, I can't get all of these to grow fully. There's not enough time in the game. So it's nice to have a plant that you don't have to try to grow.
It's there. It's worth 2 points.
It's just there. If you get the lighting the right way, you get thumbs.
thumb.
If you water it, you get thumbs. It's just really nice, small addition, but it's just that great little addition that it opens up the play space.
Yes.
Also, we had some graphic design issues. The icon on the yellow cards is kind of hard to see. And then the patterns on all of the decoration tiles.
I think they call them the furnishing tiles.
Furnishings?
Because there's furnishing and nurture.
Yeah, I think it's furnishings. I'm sorry, I call them decorations. Furnishing tiles. If you're just colorblind, you're going to be fine with them. But if you have more severe vision issues, they didn't use the icon to identify the plant type. So those might be a little difficult. But all open information, so you can just hopefully ask for help.
Yes.
So who is this game for?
This is a mid-weight game that's for pretty much most people.
Yeah, if you're looking for a midweight game that has meaningful choices and this really engaging spatial puzzle.
Right.
I think that's going to be really, really good.
And you would classify it between 2 other games.
Right. So Flat Out Games has come out with other games. Calico and Cascadia are the ones most commonly compared to Verdant. Verdant still has a puzzle, but it's not as complicated as Calico. Calico's very restricted, has a lot of more crunchy thinkiness. But this is a little bit more complex and restricted than Cascadia. Cascadia, you're putting out tiles that can go any which way. You're not restricted to a certain space like the grid. So this is kind of that sweet spot between those 2 games. If you're finding Cascadia is too light, Calico too crunchy, or you're looking for something that fits right in the middle, I feel like this would be that game.
Yes.
Personally, we have all 3. We still need to play the other ones. But we plan to keep them, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Our rating.
So for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Verdant roll for you?
It rolled a 5. I just really enjoyed the puzzle. Love the art. Bessel's art is just great. I like that there's so many different ways to score points. It's not overly complex, but it's still got meaningful decisions. And I think my only frustration is then the 2-player game, the fact that the cards get stuck. And so there's been times I've really wanted something and I can't get it.
For me, it also rolled a 5. Now, the only reason why I wouldn't give it a 6 isn't so much the stagnant card, it's the fact that I probably would have a tough time playing this with kids. Not that they couldn't grasp it, they probably just wouldn't be interested in growing plants.
That's true.
So that's because I would see this as being a fantastic family weight game.
Ah, that's where you're coming at.
Yeah.
You don't think, though, because I really feel that it is a bit more mid-weight, that it...
No. This is easy enough to grab a token, grab a card, put it in, do little nifty stuff. But I think the subject matter just might turn off kids. There's nothing that exciting. It's like watching grass grow because you're watching something else grow.
It's not quite grass, but it's plants.
Yes, and some of those plants are very closely related to grass. So, yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
So that's where it puts me at. But 10 out of 12, fantastic score for a fantastic game.
Agreed.
It grows on you.
Oh, it really does.
Yes. And Sarah, with the 5 different types of plants, the succulents, the foliage, the vines, the flowering, and the unusual, out of all the pictures that you really say you love the art, which category do you gravitate towards?
The unusuals, because as Will has said in other videos, I gravitate towards magical things a lot. And I really find the unusual plants, some of them look really magical. So yeah, unusual plants would be my jam if I could actually be around live plants and not sneeze my face off.
So hopefully that's your jam too. And we've been Rolling with Reviews. And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2, that's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.